Welcome to today's webinar, Deploying SAP Workloads on Red Hat Enterprise Linux on AWS. Our presenters today are Marcus Koch, ISV Solution Architect at Red Hat, and Bill Tim, Solutions Architect at AWS. Marcus joined Red Hat in 2010 as a pre-sales solution architect for global accounts. Since 2016, he has worked as an ISV solution architect covering Red Hat's partner SAP and providing guidance to OEM partners to help define solutions with Red Hat software. Bill is a solutions architect focusing on SAP at Amazon Web Services. Bill has a deep SAP background and has been with Amazon Web Services for over 5 years, helping customers and partners embrace AWS platform for SAP workloads. Marcus and Bill, welcome. Bill, the floor is now yours.
Thank you for joining us today. The agenda of our session, I'm going to provide an overview of AWS and SAP on AWS, and then Marcus is going to discuss Red Hat overview and Red Hat and SAP and Red Hat and Amazon Web Services, and we're going to share a few customer success stories. So AWS and Red Hat have been collaborating now for a few years. Red Hat and AWS provide a complete enterprise-class computing environment that is both simple and scalable. AWS and Red Hat Enterprise Linux gives your organization access to a secure and easy-to-manage platform to meet the changing needs of your business. Red Hat and Red Hat Enterprise Linux brings you cost-effective security, reliability, and performance. So for those of you not familiar with Amazon Web Services, Amazon Web Services, or AWS, is a secure cloud securities platform, cloud services platform comprised of more than 70 services that enables customers to run virtually any application, from enterprise applications like SAP to social games and mobile apps. As I mentioned, there's currently over 70 services within AWS. I'd like to now focus on the core services most relevant for SAP Solutions. So starting with one of our compute services, the Amazon Elastic Compute Cloud, or EC2, provides on-demand resizable compute capacity in the cloud. We currently have over 40 different virtual machine configurations. About 20 of those we have benchmarked and certified with SAP. And in the context of SAP, the operating systems we support are Windows, SUSE Linux, and Red Hat Linux. Our storage services, the first one most relevant for SAP Solutions is our Elastic Block Store, or EBS service. EBS provides persistent block-level storage volumes for use with EC2 instances. EBS volumes offer the consistent low-latency performance needed to run workloads like SAP Solutions. The Amazon Simple Storage Service, or S3, is a secure, durable, and highly scalable object file storage service in the cloud. For SAP Solutions, the primary use would be to store backups. Our networking service is our Virtual Private Cloud, or VPC. VPC is a logically isolated section of the AWS cloud where you can launch AWS resources in a virtual network that you define and control. And then the VPC also provides connectivity back to your network, either over a physical VPN connection or a private network connection through a service called AWS Direct Connect. And our monitoring service is Amazon CloudWatch, which can be used to monitor your AWS resources, and we have worked with SAP to integrate CloudWatch into their monitoring capabilities in order to enable SAP support to support SAP customers running on AWS. AWS and SAP have built a strong alliance over the years. SAP has been an AWS customer since 2008 and uses us for a variety of use cases, from developer systems, training systems. They offer many trials of their solutions on AWS, which customers can launch through their Cloud Appliance Library. And in early 2011, AWS became an SAP Global Technology Partner. And since then, we have worked closely with SAP to certify our platform for SAP Solutions and work jointly on various offerings. On the right are an example of a few of our SAP customers running production on AWS. We have many more published case studies, which are on our website, which we will share a link to at the end of the presentation. AWS is built on a global infrastructure around regions and availability zones. A region is a physical location in the world where we have multiple availability zones. Availability zones consist of one or more discrete data centers, each with redundant power, networking, and connectivity housed in separate facilities. Availability zones offer you the ability to operate production applications and databases which are more highly available, fault-tolerant, and scalable than would be possible from a single data center. The AWS Cloud currently operates 38 availability zones within 14 geographic regions around the world, and we have 4 more regions coming online later this year. Customer benefits provided by AWS for SAP, the first being increased speed. So AWS enables you to rapidly provision infrastructure for SAP Solutions. For example, for SAP HANA, you can provision all of the required AWS infrastructure for both a scale-up and scale-out HANA system in under an hour. AWS enables you to scale your infrastructure capacity up or out based on your requirements. AWS enables you to innovate faster with a secure platform, simplify your SAP environment by enabling you to quickly and easily clone SAP systems for upgrades. And AWS enables you to reduce your cost compared to on-premises traditional infrastructure. For example, for a 2 terabyte SAP HANA system that you would need for 40 hours to test SAP HANA, you could do all of that on AWS for less than $700. The SAP Solutions, which have been certified on AWS for production with SAP, pretty much all of the on-premises business applications like Business Suite, S4HANA, BW for HANA, Business Objects, Business One have all been certified. Also SAP Hybris, the SAP database products, HANA, MaxDB, the former Sybase databases, ASE and IQ, are all supported and certified on AWS. The SAP supported operating systems and databases, as I mentioned earlier, Windows, SUSE Linux, and Red Hat are all supported, and all of the SAP supported databases, including Oracle, SQL Server, DB2, are all supported on AWS. As I mentioned earlier, we currently have over 40 different virtual machine configurations, or what we call instance types. We've certified more than 20 of those for SAP. These are the ones that are our current generation instance types that we have certified. You can see a SAPS rating for each instance type. We have run the standard SAP sales and distribution benchmark on our instance types, and you can see we have instances ranging from low 2,000 SAPs up to our largest over 130,000 SAPs. And those 3 instances, starting with the R3 8 extra large and the 2 X1 instances, are all certified for HANA. A little more information about HANA. Currently, our largest single virtual machine configuration for HANA is our X1 32 extra large, which provides 2 terabytes of memory. So that is the largest scale-up configuration currently supported on AWS. And for scale-out, that same X1 32 extra large in a 7-node scale-out cluster providing 14 terabytes of memory is supported. And you can start with the R3 extra large, which provides the 244 gigs of memory. To simplify and speed the deployment of AWS infrastructure for HANA, we have created a quick start reference deployment that uses an AWS service called CloudFormation, which enables you to define a complete stack of AWS resources in a template and then provision all of those resources in a single step. We have created this following both AWS and SAP best practices. The quick start provisions all of the required networking, the EC2 instances, the EBS volumes. You provide the SAP HANA installation media, and then the quick start installs the HANA instance. And you can have an SAP HANA system up and running both a single node scale up or multi-node scale out cluster in less than an hour. AWS provides unprecedented flexibility for HA and DR for SAP HANA. One of the built-in services of the Elastic Compute Cloud is EC2 auto recovery, which if your instance or underlying physical host becomes impaired, EC2 auto recovery can automatically restart your HANA instance on another physical server within the EC2 fleet. So compared to on-premises infrastructure, if your physical appliance was to fail, unless you have a standby physical appliance, your system would be offline until you can bring your physical appliance back online. So at no additional cost, you have increased availability just by using the EC2 auto recovery service. But to provide even an increased level of availability, using our availability zones in a region and SAP HANA system replication, you can synchronously replicate between two availability zones, providing now protection against failure of complete data center versus only protecting failure of individual components in a data center. For disaster recovery, you have options from a simple backup and recovery model without having to pay for standby infrastructure, or you can leverage the HANA system replication without data preload and have a standby system with less memory than production and only scale up to production memory size at the time of a disaster, so again enabling you to save cost. So now I'd like to just take some time to discuss a few customer case studies. The first is Brooks Brothers. They needed a more agile way of testing and implementing new business ideas. They turned to AWS for an implementation of SAP Customer Activity Reporting, or CAR, which is part of CRM and runs on HANA. They estimated that they saved thousands of dollars in data center costs, freeing up capital to invest back in their business, and AWS provided them speed and agility for this project that would not be possible with their existing on-premises infrastructure. The next case study is Kellogg, which implemented SAP Trade Promotion Management on SAP HANA. They estimated by using SAP HANA on AWS, they would save over $900,000 over a 5-year period versus using their on-premises infrastructure. And the primary benefit we hear from many SAP customers is the speed and agility that AWS provides them versus other infrastructure options they have. So now I'm going to turn it over to Marcus to discuss Red Hat.
So what's the very special thing now on Red Hat Enterprise Linux for SAP HANA on AWS? So one of the key things is that Amazon and Red Hat work together more than over 9 years in a very trusted relationship in the industry. That's particularly based on 98% of the critical security vulnerabilities are fixed typically within 1 calendar day from our security response team. The enterprise customers are known, or who use Red Hat know that we can deliver an availability for up to 5 nines of our systems. So, and in the end, more than 90% of all Fortune 500 companies are trusting Red Hat, especially if those capabilities. So, to tell something about Red Hat. So most people probably know us as a Linux distributor. We're not only a Linux distributor, we're an open source software distributor. Besides of Linux, we do middleware, cloud management, and software-defined storage tools from the open source communities, provide them with enterprise-ready life cycles and support. So we're still a high-growth company. We're currently doing more than $2 billion US dollar in the last fiscal year and still growing in a double-digit fashion. So we're not focused on any particular vertical. We're strong across all vertical markets with a very strong channel delivery model. More than 60% of our revenue goes through our channels. So we'll see here. So why is that? So with the model, how we build software, we can provide an exceptional price and performance model because we don't have to do all the software development ourselves. We do it in community, and so the innovation can also be driven by our customers, by our partners who join those open source projects. The code is open to review, and so as such has a high quality, and then is increased with our internal way of making this to an enterprise-ready software. So with our software products, we deliver a very flexible operational model. So whenever you want to run an application, you can run them on-premise, you can run them in the Amazon cloud, you can run them in containers or on virtual machines, depending on what your need as an enterprise customer's requirements are. So, that, especially if you look at our deployment tools, for those who are familiar with Satellite or maybe CloudForms, which is a hybrid cloud management framework, we are able to integrate the Amazon cloud with your data center. We integrate into the Amazon APIs with Direct Connect, with VPC. It's even possible to manage the export and import of VMs from on-premise to the cloud and back. We can, with the CloudForms tool, we support the CloudFormation orchestration layer, and of course we can manage the identity and access management tools. This goes, so you can manage your entire extended hybrid cloud with our tooling framework. So what does it mean running Red Hat on AWS? So this might answer one of the questions in the chat. You have different ways to manage the subscription. If you launch an instance in AWS, you have the chance to pay as you go. That means Amazon provides you with the subscription for the time a particular resource is running. Or if you have a particular, if you bought the license yourself and just want to move your workload into the cloud, you can also bring your own license model. where you have previous support licenses and then move those into the Amazon EC2 cloud. And with the reserved instances is something in between. So where Amazon provides you with a licensing, you pay them upfront for, or you can pay them upfront with a reserved for reserved instances. So looking at the relationship between Red Hat and SAP. So SAP and Red Hat came in touch early 1999. Red Hat Enterprise Linux was the first Linux where SAP run their applications on. So, and over the time, we got global technology partner, we got our operating system certified for SAP software, and today SAP's clear focus is to develop on Linux and run the workload on Linux. So that this is the default platform. And once we signed the HANA porting contract in 2013, we were out with solutions in 2014. Amazon is one of the partners. And when SAP decided to run workload on Linux, they built up a very good support concept for you as a customer. So whenever you have a problem with an SAP system, you are able to open a ticket with SAP, and SAP routes it to the particular vendor, even if it's Red Hat or Amazon in this case. The support people sit in the same room and are able to work together to build a solution here. Yeah, so this is a 24/7 support from a single point of contact, as I said. So you typically open your ticket through the SAP Solution Manager if you're not sure if it's a Red Hat or an Amazon issue. And with the engineering presence from Amazon and Red Hat on site in Walldorf, they can work together to solve your particular problem. And of course, the SAP, if it turns out to be an SAP problem, those guys are sitting there as well, of course. And what's important to make the experience for you as an end customer as good as possible, SAP has access to our pre-releases of software, and of course we have on site the ability to test against their early versions of SAP software. So what solutions for SAP we have? So the one really good thing is that with Red Hat Linux you can extend your normal compliance and governance processes onto the SAP workload. With Red Hat Linux, you have a flexible, stable, secure foundation for your entire SAP infrastructure, as well as your existing workload that's not only SAP. So said that, you're able to build a very, very solid basis for your enterprise, for your critical enterprise applications. We can help you to standardize across all the world. And then one important thing here is when SAP tells you about digital transformation, the main thing about this is that from your existing data silos in your enterprise, in your company, you combine those data silos, and from combining those data, you experience, or you can create new data, new insight that enable or makes your business faster, flexible, more agile, or whatever. And the important thing is with SAP HANA, the way to integrate all that stuff is SAP HANA for SAP, but it's with our JBoss portfolio, we also help you to integrate data that's not yet or cannot yet be integrated with HANA, or we can help you integrate processes that from some homegrown products or non-SAP products that need to integrate their data within the SAP world, such as Hadoop data, IoT data. So if you're looking into the IoT space, having some sensors out in the field that need to transmit data into your data center for the analytics, we can help you with a JBoss portfolio to do this secure, and we can even extend the complete management and security management out to the gateways. If you look at the IP cameras and the denial of service attacks in the last months, you'll see that security management for the IoT market is much more important than for your data center as well. So, said that, yes, we have special order numbers or SKUs for Red Hat Enterprise Linux for SAP HANA because we deliver in that particular SKU, we deliver an additional channel that brings you some additional packages for running the SAP HANA software and a TuneD profile that automatically tunes and configures the system to be ready to run HANA workload. So with that, you're able to run this across the physical, virtual, and cloud environments, whatever you want to use, especially in the Amazon cloud environment. You want to. There's a compatibility between all the releases, and we make sure that updates go flawlessly. With the new versions of SAP HANA, you as a customer are even able to upgrade the operating system and the HANA database in a rolling fashion, in a rolling upgrade fashion, so that you are able to have a continuously 24/7 operation available. I want to go over to some special use cases. Why should you put SAP HANA on the cloud, as we had in our customer examples before? These can be non-production systems or training systems, prototyping systems that do not run all the time, and you don't want to provision additional service in your data center, or test systems where you can replicate parts of it into the cloud. There might be some prediction support systems set with that for development, for quality assurance, testing new transports in the SAP system. And it's also possible to, if you run your data center, you can use Amazon. And the other possibilities, we can set up good HA and disaster recovery solutions together with some application partners. For example, that you can replicate your running system into the Amazon world, so that there is a way to that you can fire your systems up for disaster recovery once you have a failure in your own data center. Yeah, as I said before, with the RHEL for SAP HANA, there comes a special performance profile that tunes the RHEL operating system to fit the needs of SAP HANA. We are as always committed to quality, security, and stability, which means that we want to provide you with the highest quality software for your enterprise deployments, and with the HANA, we can make use of the HANA system replications and failover possibilities, so that you have your SAP HANA systems available 7 times 24, 365 days a year. So all of those setups can be managed, can be done within the Amazon space. So if you find it interesting to look into SAP HANA a little closer, so your next steps could be go to those one of those websites. You can directly get some resources on what Red Hat Enterprise Linux for SAP HANA is. There are white papers, case studies, information on HANA in the Amazon cloud. And what I really recommend is the very last link on this page. This is the wiki page from Red Hat in the SAP community wiki, where we can, or where we do post new updates, new information. There are references, there are how-tos, relevant SAP notes. So it's your go-to resource if you want to run SAP software on Red Hat.